We will call to order the October 2nd, 2025 regular meeting of the Historic District Commission for the City of Saugatuck. First item on the agenda is roll call. Would you help us with that, Sarah?
Baldwin.
Here.
Narza.
Here.
Gardner.
Here.
Plankin.
Here.
Rude.
Here.
Patterson's gone and Straker.
Here. Thank you. We have quorum. Are there any changes, additions, or deletions to the agenda tonight, or are we good to go? Okay, good to go. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from the regular meeting held on September 4th, 2025? And if so, do I have a motion to approve?
Chair Straker,
Yes.
may I make a motion to amend the minutes to reflect that I was present at the meeting and not Donahue?
Oh, great. Thank you for that. I didn't catch that. Okay,
Second.
thank you. Any more?
Somebody else.
Sorry, I was in autopilot mode. Second, there you go. Anyone else also have discussion? Okay, thank you for that. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Okay. Any public comments on the agenda items for tonight? Okay, any unfinished business? Hearing none, we'll go straight to new business, which is 439 Butler Street, which is a roofing project. Thank you. Hi, come on up and introduce yourself. And we've taken a look at your application. Anything else you'd like to add to it or tee up for us to chat about?
Hopefully it was kind of self-explanatory there. My name is Michael Van Eyck. I'm property manager over at 439 Butler, and I own a couple businesses there at the property as well. Taking a look at a new roofing project that's going on, and the rubber roof that's on there and the terracotta tile that's providing a cap over the brick facade, if you will, is just it's not functioning as it should, and it's been a couple times replaced. And the last time it got put up kind of tucked into it and not under it. And as it can't be removed anymore, it's very much cracked and brittle, and they've been broken and kind of tarred into place so they can stay secure and that kind of thing. But they're just not really functional and serving their purpose. So the new idea would be to do some metal flashing, kind of like what we proposed on that document there that I submitted, and to just wrap it around the edge about 4 inches, kind of to match the rest of the building and tie it in all together in that same regard.
Okay, thank you. And I'll send this around because the applicant brought this to supplement. Oh, did you already ask, John? Thanks for. Let's pop that up and we'll look.
That what the material would be?
It is.
Yeah. Here.
And the reveal is 4 inches from the top of the building down. So it'll provide a lot of roll off, and that's what we're really trying to achieve. We're getting a lot of water in the building. We're fighting some moisture problems and that kind of thing. And currently the water can rip back up into the terracotta and go right into the brick facade and inside the walls. So the new material will roll down quite a ways to where it'll be near impossible for it to migrate north 4 inches. It's pretty much impossible.
We'll start on this end. John, do you have any clarifying questions or comment?
How far will it wrap down, like?
4 inches.
4 inches. And how will it be fastened?
It's on a womanized piece of lumber on the face and on the top, and that gets basically the metal gets prefabricated off-site in a site on the other side of the state of Michigan by dimensions that are given by Ken Machaski, the roofer, and they provide and do that all in-house, and then they bring everything out and then they fit it to suit. And that's basically what will be wrapped around the top. I think the top is about 12.5 inches. So you'll see from, like, if you're aerial view, you would see 12.5 inches of that green metal, 4 inches down. And I believe it's 4 inches on the other side for the roofing membrane to come up into it.
Are they hidden fasteners?
Yes,
That's a Hartford green color?
it is. It just seemed to go much better with the rest of the building there in the photo. Just hard to match spot.
Too
on.
bad the
It's pretty
clay
nice.
has to go because it's so in keeping with the building, the terracotta. I don't have any further questions right now.
Okay. Megan?
How much of the material do you see now when,
It's about 100 feet on each side.
well, I mean, how much, yeah.
Oh, currently, it's honestly, you only see the overlap of the terracotta tile, otherwise it's embedded into the kind of the brick facade, if you will. And that's part of the problem. It's not going over the side of the
Okay.
brick as it should. It's almost, I won't call it aesthetic only, but it's kind of only providing aesthetics right now because it's not functioning as it should. Even if it wasn't cracked and brittle, it still doesn't wrap far enough around to provide the roll-off that's needed for proper, mitigation.
So we currently only really see the thickness of the material itself at the very top, but now we will see 4 inches.
Correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure I was.
Russ, sorry, Annie, did I
No,
cut you
no.
off?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. Welcome to our meeting. So all the terracotta will be removed from the entire perimeter of the building, correct?
It's just on the north and
Just on
south
the-
sides of the buildings.
Okay,
The
so
rear
the-
has gutter and the front facade, it's flush to the front, so there isn't a cap that's required there. It's basically what we're going to be replacing with new. It's metal flashing and wood. All of that's getting ripped off the front to be replaced with new. So the front will stay the same basically as what you're seeing now.
Okay. I've had a little bit of experience with replacing terracotta in a building that I lived in Chicago, that we own in Chicago, and it was, we ran into some of the same issues with our building as well, so I'm sensitive to some of the issues that you're describing. We were also not allowed to replace the terracotta on our building because of some of the same restrictions that Historic District has here in Saugatuck. So, having gone through this process, I'm a bit concerned because our ordinance does say that we need to be concerned with replacing like materials. And this is not like materials, obviously or from terracotta to wood. I'm assuming this is probably for cost replacement
Quite honestly, we were talking mostly functionality.
Okay.
He poured a bucket on it and showed me exactly what it was doing when it would roll off, and it's not functional whatsoever. It doesn't provide any possible roll off to the side of the building without mitigating right on top of the facade, if you will. There's just not a lot of overhang there.
Mhm.
I have researched before, obviously, looking at this option, any composite materials to find anything today, and even a terracotta. I couldn't find anything, quite honestly, in terracotta, calling Belden Brick and a couple of other folks in Grand Rapids, reaching out to some old resources. But there are some composite materials that I did see out there. They're just super thin. They seem brittle. And it didn't look like a rugged material like what is up there now.
And just setting the ordinance aside for a second, the image that's up on the screen, I think demonstrates the aesthetic of the building, right?
Yeah.
That I'm assuming is probably original to the building, would be my guess.
Yeah, I was wondering.
And it does, and I'm not sure I'm using the right architectural word here, so I rely on Commissioner Canarsa to make sure I've got it right. That's part of the profile of the building. And it does add some, architectural element to the building. And again, now back to the ordinance, it is pretty specific to replace like with like.
Great. Thank you. Leah?
What would this look like? Like, would it, I mean,
It's that thick, so it's metal flashing that's in a rolled material, like almost like soffit material, if you will. They bend it and they break it with a special bar, basically cut to size. I forgot how many length it is, 18 feet or something like that in sections for seaming and that kind of
I think
thing.
I would think about it like almost like a U-shaped cap
Correct,
that sort of goes on top, right?
correct. And then the material comes in underneath it, well
Those-
underneath it.
Your 4-inch number is 4 inches on the side. Is that kind of what you're asking?
yeah,
Like what you're,
because I do think that would change the look of the building. And I mean, I actually have always noticed those clay tiles at the top and thought that they looked really cool. And historic. And it'd be one thing if you couldn't see them, but you can obviously, they're pretty prominent, when you're walking down the street. I mean, is that you think that there's no viable option to replace with?
I'm
clay?
reaching out to several distributors. The tile's not available. And so I don't know if I I don't know what they do in a situation like that when something, if you talk custom order or, I haven't gone that far, but I personally was more looking at the functionality side of it. I come from a construction background and definitely seeing what I saw there, I get the aesthetics, and you really are 90% only catching the bulbous portion of the overlay of the tile that really catches the eye. But I get what you're saying as well. I can
Yeah, I
appreciate
think
that.
because it is in the historic district and it is, highly visible. And it adds to the character of the building, if you could find something that was more of a match that was also functional.
I can definitely give it more research. It does tie in with the rest of the building. That's one of the reasons we did end up going with the 4 inches. If I did pop another photo in that kind of shows the other portion of the garage. And
Like where the yoga studio is.
the garage and the rest,
Yeah.
basically the rest of the building besides
Yeah.
these two sides looks pretty much like what we're intending to do.
The addition, you mean?
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah,
there's a photo in there.
yeah.
On page 13, there's kind of a section of this material and how it's fastened. Is it possible to get a section? I'm not 100% sure that well, maybe it does show me the womanized. So the womanized gets attached to the outside of the building.
Correct. Both the
So
top
this is
and
gonna change the dimension, so it's sticks out.
womanized, yes, so an inch and a half.
So that block, the end of that lumber there that you see, that gets put on the face of the building.
Correct.
So I don't know about that.
Mhm.
And then that wraps all the way under.
The metal does,
Like when
correct.
you look up then, cause there will be a little overhang, or am I not
You
tracking
would
with
not
you?
see any of the womanized, no. It would be sealed.
So.
But
let me-
it
let me
still
just-
sticks out, right? Like
Yeah.
even though,
I think, yeah.
yeah.
Let's go to Helen and I'll go back around. Sorry, John.
Okay, they're hitting on the same concerns that I have. I mean, the guidelines are very clear that the material needs to be technically or economically not feasible. I don't necessarily know that we've demonstrated that. I would be curious to know, I mean, if they are still making it, and seems like they are, but we just haven't found it, or you haven't found it something that would suit your. I don't know that we've demonstrated that we've gone as far as we could to accommodate the guidelines at this point, is what I would say.
What could I do? I mean, as far as calling these reps and having them email me back that says that the material is not available, was that kind of information you'd be looking for?
Well, I think it might be a click deeper than that. Like,
Sure.
I think there could be one route where you could find salvage stock at an architectural salvage yard. Like typically you can find different kind of bricks and blocks and things and architectural elements. I don't know you would ever find enough of that. So I'm just saying that's one option. The other option is, and I'm happy to do a little research on it as well. Synthetic can meet our guidelines.
Mm.
So this, John, I didn't mean to cut you off. You had another question, but I'll just.
No,
back to you. This reminds me of like two things, I guess, in my past. On one hand, it's like a case of box gutters where there are box gutters, you never really want to replace box gutters with an OG gutter because it's so integral to the original fabric of the house, yet they weren't really great designs in the first place. They take so much maintenance to maintain. So I feel like that's kind of what you're saying. You're like, this is a really hard thing to maintain and I want to protect the integrity of the building. So I get where you're going. The other path that it reminds me of is synthetic slate. So most historic districts and the Department of Interior are approving synthetic slates in districts that have a slate heavy population for roofs because the synthetic is so good and protects the integrity of the building for so much longer. That's why I'm wondering if there's some sort of synthetic version of this that keeps the profile intact, but it upgrades the technology of what you're looking to do. Because I understand what your problem is. the seepage of moisture and
Right.
Michigan weather and flat roofs and the whole bit. I get that. So I guess on that second option, before I would feel totally comfortable approving this solution, because I think it does change the profile, it makes it quite heavier. I would want just to know if there are synthetic solutions, and I've just not had any experience with that yet.
Well, I just sent this to Sarah and this is a clay option. I think this is what we're talking about. And there are some styles, if you scroll down, Sarah, that one with the ribs on it right there, double slant wall coping in classic salt. That looks, just, yeah, down below that, right there. That looks like, you know, the texture that I think this building has. And I'd really like to see this explored. I think
Okay.
it's, I think a dark squared off cap on there is going to really detract from the building. I think it has to have some texture and
That
design
reflects
like
what's
the,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah. And I think these don't match it exactly, but they're close. And looks like they come in different shades of color and they're real material.
I just looked on ChatGPT and there are synthetic alternatives and there's like 5 different companies that they mentioned. So-
Yeah, I found some too. It was a size thing. It just finding something that was 12.5 inches. Nobody had anything in that particular size, but I'll keep going. I spent about 3.5, 4 hours on the internet searching different
Well, this-
distributors.
That one's 18 right there. So, I mean, was it, you couldn't find them that wide?
12.5 inches is what we're looking for particular. That's
So they were less or more than 12?
correct. They were into 36 inches. 18 was a very nominal width that I found in there, but not that particular one so I don't know if it's getting into.
Well, and if there's alterations needed for the aluminum cap, maybe in this case, the alteration that's needed is on the inside of the
Right.
structure that you don't see to fill that space somehow. I don't know, that's more your camp of like building integrity, but that's one of the reasons I want you to come in tonight. I hated to have you come in versus this being staff approval, because I thought this dialogue was important since it's
Oh,
a
absolutely.
contributing structure. But I know you're up against weather, and you want to get this done, so I think I'll paraphrase what I think I'm hearing us say, that we believe that like the architectural integrity is pretty important to maintain. Since we all, there's such history of this building that's been documented, that even makes it more important to protect the integrity of it. But I think knowing the zone that we're probably in, if you're able to find some synthetic solutions, we could probably staff approve that and keep you moving, so you don't have to wait until the next meeting with a clear enough set of motions.
One more thing, and this one in particular, it looks like you need a flashing anyway under it. So,
Yeah, you usually do. That's. what
yeah,
I'm
so
doing.
I mean, that's gonna be your protection from the water getting in, I think. I think this becomes mostly decorative.
Correct. Once we can get it off, we can seal it back in correctly. I was coming up to
Yeah.
trying to finding that exact size and availability was not within reach. So when Ken said, well, I do this all the time in buildings like yours, and that's when he brought the dual
Oh.
pass system
Yeah.
to me and told me what he was thinking about doing, and kind of what brought us here today.
Hmm.
But that was because we couldn't physically remove what was up there. We have to literally just break it all apart.
Right.
I mean, there's no
Sure, I
trying to
understand.
salvage what was up there, and that was the intent, and it was like, there's just no way.
Does anybody else have other comments?
I would just say thank you for being.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For being here and for listening to our comments and,
for researching.
yeah, appreciate that
You bet.
very much.
I will find out some information on what we've got for synthetics and even something like this and what we're looking at for lead times and do you guys want samples and things like that, or a cut through is fine?
Yeah, I think if you had samples in a cut sheet.
Okay.
And brought that into Grayson, and Grayson can circulate that for an approval. Well, I think probably what we need to do is make a motion to table. And in that motion, state that. that we're making a motion to table this application until additional research can be done. I feel like I'm making the motion.
Someone say it.
Chair, I can take a stab at it.
Okay.
Motion to table, the request until we can receive samples and cut sheets of synthetic material.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Any more discussion on this? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Okay, thanks for working with us.
Thank you very much.
Grayson has listed under 8 some administrative approvals, or I guess just one, which is some signage. Is there any communication? Nope. No. Any additional public comments? Any additional commission comments? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mayor. Second.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Quick meeting.
You did it.
The record one.